This is Tom Duty, middle-aged American living in New Jersey near the Lincoln Tunnel. If you're to visit my website, you type Howdy Doody into Google. You'll find the correct spelling of the famous puppet. You then combine Tom Duty in a Google search for my site. This is an open mic, a tribute to Haskell Wexler. Haskell is a awarded, celebrated, important cinematographer, director, Hollywood, from Illinois, who died this morning. I will be doing what I do on each of these open mics, which is a series I've started in the recent month, which is soliciting engagement on Twitter for people who are tweeting about Haskell Wexler. So the concept of open mic is that I present a link that people can click on and join me in this Google Hangout. So there, his or her voice can be heard on this Google Hangout. Although I've done open mic, I've reached double digits in a number of times, I have yet to get a first voice to join me in the Hangout the way you're supposed to. I've had a couple of phone calls, those come in, and then my voice is of volume that's several times higher than the voice on the telephone. So, and those voices have been off topic. So I have yet to achieve on topic Google Hangout voice. However, I have achieved some fun, probably the most fun last night in a bar, tweeting about a thing called the Pinstripe Bowl. It was college football. So here we go. So what I do is I look for tweets. Essentially, whoever is tweeting about Wexler, I will do a reply tweet. Wexler, in a twisted Twitter sort of way. It's an invite to join me here, including the link that allows the person behind the Twitter account, or anyone else for that matter, who detects it by following the trend. The trend is weak, by the way. But anyone else who clicks on that link has the ability to click through a warning screen that says, hey, your voice is going to be on the internet. And if a person were to click through that, then he or she would have his or her voice on this Hangout with me. So from the time I typed Wexler was about 60 seconds ago. I got 3 more tweets. So let's see if I can use any of these. Here's someone who is tweeting the LA Times, and now I have just recorded in my voice the text of the LA Times tribute to Wexler. So I'm going to follow Dave Norris, who tweeted 33 seconds ago. And Dave Norris is described as the last projectionist standing by. Okay. So what did he say? I'm going to use this word, projectionist. So Dave Norris, who tweeted 55 seconds ago, is going to get a reply tweet from me. And I'm going to call him, though he doesn't do it. I think it's appropriate. Hollywood projectionist, projection, Hollywood projectionist man, LA Times. Haskell Wexler dies. So I've described this man as a Hollywood projectionist man, which what he called himself. Now he just used the text that's created for him by LA Times, which I try to select people who have written their own text, but this trend is not hot. And so I don't have as much to choose from. So in this case, I'm going to use what Dave Norris has done. I add my Twitter link. I add my Google link, my Hangout link that would allow someone to join this Hangout. Now I have an image of Haskell Wexler. It says I'm in Weehawken where I am. And off goes that tweet. So listeners, if you've heard a full cycle, that's it. That's tweet number 1. And I'm going to do this for about an hour. It's Sunday. Haskell Wexler died this morning in a hospital in Santa Monica, California. And his death was public, I think, about 5 hours ago. Time to find tweet number 2. I've got 22 new tweets, so I can be a little more selective than I was last time. It's a little hotter than yeah. See, here's someone, Rob Kozlowski. Now I'm not going to click on his IndieWire. No, it appears he's. Gosh, if that were his blog post, I would have chosen him. But it seems to be IndieWire, and I don't, without more clicks to figure it out, I can't be sure the connection between the person tweeting and the text that he's tweeting. So this is John Paul Keith. Okay, this appears to be personally written text from John Paul Keith. He tweeted 2 minutes ago, and he gives me plenty in his profile to work with. So to John Paul Keith, I do a reply tweet on Twitter. He's a musician, songwriter, host in Memphis on NPR, host of Made in Memphis on NPR, worldwide Beale Street Caravan, and band leader of Mississippi Public Broadcasting, Thacker Mountain Radio. So this is easy for me. He is musician, songwriter, musician, songwriter, media, and all the radio stuff that he said I summarize into Media Pro Man. And I'm just going to say Haskell Wexler had a cousin. With that, I add my Twitter, my Google link. I go for my And there we go. Tweet number. Tweet number. I don't know what it is. I've already lost track. I'm at Port Imperial Ferry, and this is a place where people gather to get on a ferry. My first choice is to go to Hoboken. Hoboken takes a little more time, but Hoboken is preferred on weekdays because the ferry comes in there, and so I have this nice rush of ferry boat people transferring to trains. And if I can do it during rush hour, I get a nice flow of people. But that is a ferry terminal that services New York only rush hour, Monday through Friday, morning and evening. This terminal is the HQ of NY Waterways, and this terminal runs more generous hours, many more boats, 7 days a week. Now, in that amount of time, I got 22 more tweets. So let's see what I had to choose from. The first one that looked good, the person says nothing about himself other than traveling. So I attempt to choose someone who gives me more to work with. Next person says nothing about himself. So this person has, this person's Canadian. She, oh gosh. I don't want to chance it. I can't be sure that person's a woman. I don't want to call her a woman and find out she's a man. Okay, this is cool. This is Vaughn Christian 3 minutes ago. And he's a filmmaker. And unfortunately, I just clicked on his profile, which will refresh. Damn it, I did go to his. That's okay. Oh my gosh, he's a New Jersey filmmaker. I'll follow him. Okay, I do regret that click because now I can't find. Okay, so this one is easy. I say New Jersey. Now I only have New Jersey because I went to this man's full profile, which was um, something I try not to do. New Jersey film maker man, and he just posts someone else's text. So instead of trying to say what that text says about Haskell Wexler, I'll just put Haskell Wexler. And I add the Google link. I go from my media. Just kind of a cool picture that I found of Haskell in front of a movie marquee that has his name on it. And he's a young man. And there goes another tweet. So my third tweet went to Von Christian. Gewoon Handig tweets, says nothing about herself. Melanie Hamill, licensed realtor, so I can work with this. And again, she just posts someone else's text, which is not my first choice, but the heat of this trend is not giving me abundant choice. So I will simply say real estate, real estate, pro woman, Haskell, Wexler. Then I add my Google link. As I get my media, my JPEG file, Haskell Wexler as a young man in front of a movie from the 60s, a movie marquee with his name on it. I was looking through the very long list of movie credits to this man's name, and I was reading from the bottom up, so it's in chronological order. I'm reading from the bottom up, the oldest ones first. And I'm way through this list, 20 or more films. And I hit Cuckoo's Nest. Well, Jack Nicholson is old today, and Jack Nicholson was young in that movie. And this man who contributed to that movie, Wexler, who contributed to that movie, already had a long list of movies to his credit. So he was successful for a very long time. That one thing I read said six decades of producing movies. All right, 3 new tweets. I read the tribute to Wexler. New York Times was on it within hours of his death. And this was trending. So I did my homework, recorded an audio of the Los Angeles Times, and then it slowed down. So I had planned to do this for an hour, but I might not. So here's Misha Ella. The only thing she says about herself is love me. So I like that. I'll send her some Twitter love. Award profitable American filmmaker. Lifeless at 93. BuzzFeed. So she's again tweeting someone else's text. Love me, woman. And I'll just say Haskell Wexler. Add my Google link. There we go, my first interaction, but it's light. It's one that followed me. I can't really do much with someone that followed me. They reply or they retweet or they do something a little more engaging. I can go after it, but since this is kind of slow, I think that's exactly what I'll do. See who followed me. And there's 10 more tweets while I was doing Misha Ella, who tweeted 2 minutes ago. 10 more tweets. See, and that's interesting. The person who followed me I had not followed him first. So that means he's not one of the ones I tweeted to in this. So he may not even be following this Wexler trend. Okay, so his name is Dale Zwinski. Oh, great. And now someone else liked something I did. So let me work with Zwinski first. He's got his own website. It's just hard for me to tell what he seems like he teaches sales techniques. Sales Training Pro Man and follows me. I add my Google link. That was the wrong thing in the clipboard. I gotta go get my Google link. I add my Google link. And I add my Wexler image. Oh, I didn't say grazie. Grazie. And tweet. Now, in the meantime, I had someone like, know who did it, and who and what did he or she like. Something I don't know yet. Now, with this Wazinski, it is not confirmed that he has anything to do with this Wexler. He's a sales training pro, as best I can tell. So that doesn't say movies. He followed me during this Wexler thing, but that doesn't necessarily mean he has any. He doesn't have any tweets in his on his top tweets that show any connection to this trend. So this is fun. So I have Amanda Jeffries, and it's just great. This woman is clearly connected to this to the Wexler trend, and professionally she's doing something with music, not movies, but it looks really close. So I'm going to say well, it says she liked my tweet, but it doesn't show in the list of what she liked. So that's fine. She liked something else 9 minutes ago. So I will say promo your music here, American woman. Liked my Wexler tweet. I add my Google link. I say grazie. And I'm going to add my Wexler picture. So I've been doing this for a relatively short period of time. I don't have the energy of the bar like I did last night to carry me very long, and I don't have a hot trend. I have a lukewarm trend. So I don't know how long I'll keep this up. Last night in the bar, I went for more than an hour and 20 minutes. I think it was one of my longest. The top tweets right now have a photo of Injun, I think his character name was, hugging Jack Nicholson from Cuckoo's Nest. I got another like. And this time it was George Broten, again, someone I did not tweet to. So George, this may be a complete chance that he followed me at this time. Uh, so he's a CEO, Sales Pro Man. Got a cool, looks like European port city in his, oh, Stockholm. Cool. Stockholm. So Sales Pro CEO. God, I got another like Embry, the creator. Stockholm Stock HOLM. Stockholm man liked my Haskell Wexler tweet. Oops, tweet. I add my Google link. And my picture of Haskell. Haskell. I assume this picture is of Stockholm in George Broughton's profile. It's cool. Very narrow harbor like Baltimore. Now, Embray, the creator, multimedia artist specializing in filmmaking, photography, and graphic design. Awesome. He is clearly not a chance. Oh, he liked my tweet, so it's clear that his attention is on this Haskell trend as mine is. So let's I open his profile. Multimedia artist man, Chicago. Ha 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 ha. Double cool. This guy is Haskell's from Chicago. Born in Chicago, died in California. And so is Embray, the creator. So he's a multimedia artist, Chicago, Illinois man. So let me see what I can do with this. Multimedia artist, Chicago, Illinois man. Liked my Haskell Wexler tweet. Add my Google link. And I go for my Haskell image. So for like 3 or 4 now, I haven't chosen a fresh tweet. I've chosen, it wasn't my raw choice. It was people followed, people liked, and at least 3 of those people were inspired by the same trend that has my attention. So back to the Wexler trend. The first one seems attractive, but it's not clear that it's a person. It seems to be some kind of list org. Here's someone that has. This is a film organization. Doesn't seem to be a person, but that's okay. Small but productive, stable, unrepresented independent screenwriters, filmmakers who are all about film. So I'm going to do this. I'm going to do this one. It's called Emotions Films Ltd. And it's tweeted 2 minutes ago. So I'm going to call it All About Film Org of Pros. And I'm going to say the source of the New York Times. I read the New York Times before I chose the LA Times. I preferred the LA Times mostly because it's California and he died in California, but I felt the text was a little better. So there goes the tweet to this. It's an organization that represents camera people, filmmakers, cinematographers, unrepresented people. And they say that their people they represent are all about film. So if they represent these people, how are they unrepresented? I don't know enough about the politics of the labor of filmmaking to know. I have another notification, but I didn't get an alert, so it might be one. Oh, cool. uh, I've been added to a list, but that is, could just be Dale's process. So I will not bring additional attention to it, although I like to be on lists. I don't want to see myself all of a sudden appear on some list of terrorists. I don't want to see myself appear on lists of neo-Nazis. But generally, I like being on lists. I'm not going to take the time to look at Dale's, I mean. I'm not going to tweet to him. So now I begin my hunt for another tweet. This will be the first fresh one I've done in a series of about 6. This person's profile is in Spanish and his tweet is in Spanish. Maybe I'll go for it. The director of photography. Ah, ha, ha. This is cool. So I'm going to follow Armando, and his profile says, the problem of the sufrimos, wish I knew what that meant, más por lo que so I get enough on this. I see the words real success. So I'm going to call him Real Success Man. And his tweet is I hope I'm not right. No, that word kind of looks like student, so I'm going to go for it. Student of Haskell Wexler. And I add my Google link. and my picture of Haskell. Now, since I've been doing these open mics on Hangout, I have gotten almost no Twitter troll, you know, foul language insults. Almost none. I mean, relative to me doing the same thing without the Google Hangout. And I have known this from before. The people who reply WTF or other forms of the F word, um, one might think that it's spontaneous, vicious, mindless, hateful, angry crap. And I've found that it's all of those things except spontaneous. There is actually a pause before they decide whether they're going to flip off. And since I've had this hangout, they do a lot less of it. And I'm disappointed because, like, right here is Patty, who tweeted 36 seconds ago. If she replied WTF, then I would have the pleasure of saying and describing and giving her Twitter ID and reading her reply. And that would be recorded, of course. And I know from the series, one of the reasons I keep doing it, that I have an audience. And so that audience would hear that, that, for example, Patty, mouthed off. And I think because of that, because of the fact that these hotheads pause for a moment. Here's another one in Spanish. I'm not going to do anything with it since I've been talking about fashion, love, friendship. Yeah, Patty. You give me plenty to go on, Patty. So here we go. Fashion, love, friendship, woman. Fashion, love, friendship, woman. There's that damn word, estadounidense. I don't know what to do with it. So I'm just going to say Haskell. These are not her words, anyways. Patty tweeted 3 minutes ago, but there's someone else's words. Her profile's in Spanish. His tweet is in English. Wexler. So Haskell Wexler. And the Google link. Google link allows people to dial in, get their voice on this Hangout. And there we go, Patty. Now, Patty, I used you as an example of someone who might reply spontaneously, viciously, foul language. But it was a random choice. I have no reason no reason to think you would do that. It was a random choice, just a name to illustrate. And here I got a retweet from Mia, and I had not followed Mia first, so she is clearly, she is following the Wexler trend, and that's why she found my tweet. So that's fun. I like being retweeted. And she gives me something to go on. She's a genius. Well, after you call yourself a genius, She's a genius. Mia is a genius, and she sneaks drinks into movie theaters. That's okay. So, genius, I won't capitalize that, genius. And I'm going to, I think it's a funny combination. So I'm going to say sneaks drinks into theaters, woman. Sneaks drinks into theaters, genius woman. I'll put genius here instead of at the beginning. And she retweeted my Haskell Wexler, obviously tweet. So to say tweet now would be redundant, so I won't. And there's my Wexler picture. So thank you, Mia. I liked her, and I replied, tweeted her, and I think that's enough. So this for a slow-moving trend, it's been very active, and that's a contradiction of words, but the volume of tweets in this Wexler trend is uh, smaller than I estimated. However, the activity from people following the trend is relatively high. I don't know if that says anything. And I'm missing the conservative gun nuts on this. This man was politically, socially liberal. Haskell Wexler was politically, social, liberal. He organized a workers' strike against his father, among other things. But the gun nuts aren't here on this trend. Certainly the way I just described Wexler, you can describe Michael Moore the same way. Well, if Michael Moore would have died, and I was doing this with Michael Moore, the gun nuts would be here. So coming up to 6 o'clock, I'm going to quit soon. There's that word again, but it's the estudiantense. But it's the same. It's not that everyone's using it. It's everyone's retweeting this tweet where it was used. There it is. It's like in 6 of the most recent 10 tweets. Here's one that's different. Dead, Cuckoo's Nest, cinematographer. Yeah, this one is. But this person, Victor, says nothing about himself. So if he says nothing, I will skip him. Well, so that must be a popular news source, Spanish news source for film people, because it's been retweeted many times. Here's someone's that looks a little different. Cosas. I can go with this woman here. She is Adeline Acevedo. She tweeted 2 minutes ago. So I'll reply to Miss Acevedo. And I can understand enough of the majors of life woman. Oh no, that's not majors. The best of life woman. She retweeted someone else. So I'm just going to repeat Haskell's name, Haskell Wexler. The Google link. It's definitely heated up, but it's all these, some major Spanish news source published. God, or whatever it is, it's got the attention of Spanish speaking tweeters because it's got about 10 screens of it now. So where it was kind of slow before, it sped up, but it's just the same thing over and over again. Here's 20 more tweets. Crazy. I might resume it. I forget when my wife is coming home. But if I have time, I'll resume at Starbucks in Weehawken on Riverwalk. I think it's West New York. This has been Tom Duty, middle-aged American living in New Jersey near the Lincoln Tunnel. If you were to visit my website, you would type Howdy Doody into Google. You'll find the correct spelling of the famous puppet. You then combine Tom Duty in a Google search for my site. Thank you for listening. Have a good day, good evening, or restful night's sleep. Ciao.